Zyridius.
Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Z and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So today guys, I am standing right next to the man himself, LordDakr, visiting his castle of Arlcliff.
Yo, what's up?
So, yeah, it's been a while. We've got some exciting stuff to show everyone, and so take it away, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to be a long video. It's going to be a long tour. It's taken me a hell of a long time to do the interior on this, especially. So yeah, it's quite good. So the idea with this, I'll explain the kind of history because that'll make a little bit more sense. This used to be like an old fort that was used in some war, blah 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 blah, and it got sold to the Mages Guild. So the stone part of the actual castle, think of that as just like the fort layer, and then what happened is when they bought it, they built on top of it to build that kind of like wooden structure. So all of that kind of wooden stuff with all the white bits of it, that's all kind of added after the fact to make it into more of a wizardy kind of castle. Before that, it was just a base fort, really. So it's been converted to act as the Mages Guild for this entire kingdom. And yeah, it's quite interesting looking. I think it's got like typical kind of wizard hat type tower roofs, which are actually really fun to play around with. Really difficult as well. But you know, I totally recommend like playing around with your roof designs and trying to get them. Luckily I was able to copy and paste quite a few of these because they ended up being the same size, but that was all quite nice and good.
I love the stories, like the background story that you give when you make a build like this. Like you've got a story, you've got the backstory, even to the actual, you know, broken bits of rubble sort of thing. You've got a story behind that. That's something that draws me to this.
Got to do it. It kind of I find it always helps your build. It helps you, if you think about like this area and you go, it's really defensible. Well, why the hell are mages going to be here? And they think, there's an old fort, and actually, because it's high in the mountains, there's not really much around. So if you were a lord of this land, yeah, you've got the woods down there, but it's not really close enough to anything. So it's not really a trade hub. It's not got a port or anything like that. So actually, I was trying to fill in the gaps by doing this whole like old fort thing. It was bought by the Mages Guild, and then it kind of works. So that kind of helps, I think, create some rich lore. And yeah, with your build, if you let it influence your build, then it helps as well. So because they're mages, we've of course got the idea being with this as well. We've got I didn't want to do like some Harry Potter type houses, but I did want to have two distinct teams, and so I went with red versus blue. It's like the natural choice. So there are two houses as such, which is just red and blue, or fire and ice and fire, whichever one you want. And of course, because red and blue makes purple, that's why we've got purple in the middle. So the idea being that with the mages, you might start in one of those houses, but eventually you'll become both and be joined and all that kind of stuff. So I was trying to do some symbology with colours, I guess. This is some sort of fighting tournamenty thing. So we'd be casting spells at each other, like Gandalf or whatever. And of course there'd be a lot of people, watching. The idea with this was that there was a tournament on as well. So there's actually down in the valley some caravans. So like some gypsy like caravans where they've gone all the way. I don't know if it's worth seeing those or not. Actually, I don't think the interiors are done on those. Let's not look at those. It's just like a bit of extra stuff. So that was the idea of this.
Dude, look at these banners, dude.
I cannot take credit for them. I searched Planet Minecraft and I saw it and I went, I need to just change the colours of those and they're going to work perfectly. So it looks awesome, though, doesn't it? I mean, they look like little hooded mages. It's great.
I like it.
It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, all I did is just stole it and tweaked the colours. Gotta love PMC for it, really. So what we'll do is we'll get onto the castle later because it's such a big thing, but we will go and have a look at a couple of the extra buildings around. So things like, as we get up here to the groundskeeper's hut. So heavily influenced by Harry Potter, by Hagrid's house. That whole kind of like small round thing, but I wanted to make it a little bit more wooden, so less stone on it, but go for a similar kind of roof, really pointed. So yeah, and it's also not got two circles. Hagrid's house has actually got two circles, or I think they're hexagons. Interior wise, it's doing interiors with like circular stuff is really weird. You just end up kind of like cramming everything in to all these different places.
A maze.
Yeah, you just kind of like make a maze of just weird stuff. So we got kind of traditional big bed, good old wardrobe type stuff. Really kind of basic interiors, but kind of works. And then the spare bedroom as well, which is all you really need is somewhere to cook some food. It's got a loaf of bread as well. I love these player heads. Absolutely love player heads. Got back into
this smoke. Ever since they put out the fire and smoke, it just sets off everything.
It's such a good block. The particle effects are just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love them. So yeah, it's nice and little simple house. I just thought it needed something around here because always it was just like this blank land really. So if we go up the hill, greenhouse, I decided to build it on an angle purely because it looked cool.
It's different.
It's different, yeah. I think it needed it as well from the kind of like shape of everything. So yeah, it's just a small little greenhouse. So if they've got like herbology type classes or whatever, then they can at least, go and have a wander in this nice greenhouse. I like it anyway. It's quite chilled. Lots of plants everywhere.
That fits really well on the corner.
It does, doesn't it? It just looks quite.
It fits. That's perfect.
Yeah, gotta love angled stuff.
Ooh, and this here
weird rock thing. Yeah, I like henge. It's not really a henge, but yeah, just weird rock things. Honestly, I wanted to fill the ground up, and this just kind of worked. Weird rock things, do it.
They do.
Yeah,
don't they?
just do it. Then what we've got is actually, if we fly up here, because we don't have to walk around it, have this small tower. This is actually the rookery. So, it'll make more sense when we go in. But we obviously don't have like ravens or anything like that in Minecraft. We need them. But we do have parrots and we've got bats. So, we've got some parrots and some bats in here. It'll do. Actually, where's the bats gone? The bats are gone. Parabat, yeah. So there is literally, that's all there is in here. The idea being that, they would write some letters and send off the parrots. That's pretty much it, really. Not too much on that simple little tower. Just meant that at least we had that separate, so they'd be able to go onto the balcony, kick them out, and off they'd fly. I was thinking mainly like Maester type stuff as well with these mages, so very Game of Thronesy. But works.
I miss that show. That show.
It's good. And then that path literally just goes down to the gate, which goes down into another valley. And that valley goes on to more builds. And it just keeps on going on, pretty much. This entire world is just expanding constantly. So we've started to join up a lot of the builds. So this one goes down into another kind of another dwarven area. And then from there, it also goes on to a little town. So it's all expanding, which will have you back for another tour of those when they're all totally done.
Now, is this the same map as that when we reviewed the last build?
It is indeed.
It's the same map. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is actually just up the valley from it. So there is actually a road that joins the two. Actually, there's technically two roads, because that road there that goes through that valley goes a long way around the kind of like mountains to get there. But the main road that we started on, that actually joins all the way up with the other town.
Oh, I guess
it's quite cool. So now we get to go on to the cool bit, which is the interior of the Mage's Guild. You might want a lantern or something. There you go. Let's throw that down. Just because some bits are a bit dark. It's not that bad. It's just with shaders. You know what it's like. That'd be good. Yeah. So again, going on the whole fort thing. It's got a small hall. So not as big as the clipped off one, but a nice little small one. Lots of the banners around for the different houses, and the Archmage would sit down and just be like
Archmage LordDakr.
Yeah. Or actually, I have got a name for the dude. I can't remember it. It's up on the wall somewhere. Around.
I was like, we're playing Where's
the Sign? Yeah, it's upstairs in the last bit. I can't remember what his name is, but he's got a cool name. I think it's Alvin. It's an Alvin Firefron, I think is his name. I can't quite remember. Small storeroom just filled with stuff. Gotta love stuff.
Awesome. I like the roof how you've done
Yeah, that I've done all the way along to make it look like it is properly supported. And it also just happens to be able to allow me to hang lanterns off. So it's one of those kind of dual purpose type things. Now you probably want a bathroom break, so feel free to use the privy. Yep, that just hangs off the wall and will drop into those nice ponds over there. So feel free. At least they can wash their hands here as well. I mean, that's one thing. Small library.
That's good.
Yeah. At least they can wash their hands. So it's good. Otherwise, these books would be pretty well.
Well, it'll be like soap and berries. It wouldn't be hand sanitizers now.
Well, no, you can get soap. You can make it out of animal fat. So that's always good. That's always quite good. Which I always find really weird. Apparently, you can also use like ash as well, and mix that with water.
And yep, soot from the chimney used to clean your teeth.
No, it's crazy. So this then just after that little library that we've got there goes into the feast hall. So this is I decided to drop it to try and make it feel a bit bigger. That's why we've got the couple kind of tables going down. Not tables, a couple stairs going down. So students would just sit here and eat their cake and have beer or whatever and all that kind of stuff. We've got over on this side a very, very small kitchen. I cannot imagine how bad the food would be from mages. I mean, I just imagine it being like really horrible brown soup, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Don't really know what it is. Probably some mushrooms in it, that kind of thing. Small, teacher's table type thing. I didn't have loads of rooms, so this made it, it is quite small. But you got your beer there. I'm sure you're happy with that. I do.
I like this. And you got your flag and barrels over here.
Yep. So again, trying to do the red versus blue, we've got red on one side and blue on the other. You'll see that quite a lot through all of the actual place. This kind of door over here just goes up to the top floors. Oh, not really top floor, the top area of this.
Oh, is this like a bit of a storage?
It is, well? Yeah. It's just whenever in medieval buildings, if you ever have anything where you don't know what to do with it, storage stuff, it was always perfect. We'll go back down there as well in a bit, but
it's like hoarders.
They are, yeah. They just stuff. I can just imagine them being messy. So this at least goes onto that top section, which is just. I was going to do something here, and I was trying to debate it, but I've decided just to leave it as a nice open space, because it just kind of works for that. But I do quite like I love the little trap door kind of thing to stop rain getting in. Looks nice, cobbled together, lots of planks, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just.
Oh yeah, you've got your archery holes as well.
Yeah, so kept the old fort stuff. So they didn't add anything. They didn't change anything. So this would have been like all from the olden days. They've just really maintained it. Right, let's go back downstairs. Here you are. Back down the weird. I'm just gonna jump on the side. There you go. That'll do.
Wow.
Right, so first class you're going to be doing today is staff and the wand workshop. So as a mage, you need to come in. You need to make yourself either a wand or a staff. Are you a kind of staff guy, or are you a little wand guy? Yeah,
staff.
Yeah, compensating there.
Oh yeah.
Nice, the compensator. Oh, give me the biggest bit of wood you got. Yeah, right. So yeah, idea being, I was trying to think of things that we could do with like the different blocks that we've got. So there's some creative things. So in this case, yeah, you've got the button which has been turned into a wand. So kind of like shaving it down or waddling it down. This is probably yours right here, where you just got this big hunk of wood. That'll do. So yeah, we got a couple of those, but simple little classes. Over on the other side, we've got the potions laboratory. So this is where your snake-like character would be sat, just chilling out. And yeah, mixing stuff. I love the turtle eggs. These are like one of the best blocks for alchemy. So they just look quite cool, and because it's not on sand, they don't grow either. So you can actually use them in interiors. So yeah,
I like
It's
it.
quite good. So there we go. Nice little simple little bits of potions around. So if we go through the library again, there you are. Through here, we will make it into the other side. So this is where we start going up the building. So in here we've got the so the other thing is that we've got journeyman, an apprentice, and all that kind of stuff for the different kind of classes. So this is journeyman would be your like middling kind of grade. So this is their private common room. So only once you've actually proved yourself as a young mage, you can then get into here and just chill. And so this is the blue or the ice ice kind of one. So they've got a fire, and again with like the medieval stuff. Thanks mostly to do with the smoke particles, you can actually just use the same fire on either side. You don't really notice that much. So nice, simple. I know.
Yeah.
I know, it's great. It just saves on your space a little bit. So I do like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's the commons room for the journeyman kind of like ice faction or ice guild. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Who knows? So next floor, we have directly above it is the fire journeyman commons. You know, very similar. Not really too much to say about it, but again, it's got a nice little fireplace. And that fireplace, most of these fireplaces, shall I say, do make it all the way to the roof. In this one, I couldn't do the same as I did with Clipped Off, where all of them did, but generally they make their way up quite nicely. So there we go. Let's go into here.
Nice view from here as well.
Yeah, I know. I like the windows. So obviously, medieval times they wouldn't have necessarily had glass windows. They might have done in the higher kind of floors, but you know they'd try and make it as defensive as possible. And you don't want a big hole where somebody can smash through, put a rope up and climb through. But again, because it's been converted, they've put glass in because it's fancier. So we head out over here. This was just something to make it look more interesting on the front of it, so I just had to tie it up with interior.
Oh, this is where they come out for this.
Oh, it's gotta be, yeah, the smoking like cupboard. Isn't it? It's gotta be.
Smoke outbreak just come out, puff away. Puff away on horseman.
Oh yeah, like pretty much anything they can get their hands on. So if we go around this way, this is the one I was saying about, that this one doesn't go all the way to the top, chimney wise, because I had to make it so that I didn't want to use a block going all the way up, and I couldn't have blocks around it because otherwise you couldn't walk around it. But at least you get up there. We've got another classroom over here. So your next thing you're going to learn about is history and politics. So really important, because in this world at least, I know
I was standing out here and I saw that guy standing down on the picture down the end. I'm like, who's that?
I know.
Oh god,
I think he looks like Nick Fury from a distance. He's got that kind of stature to him. That's just what I see anyway. But yeah, history and politics really important for mages, because they're going to be advising, kings. So you'd have like a court mage. So you can imagine them being like the advisor. So they've got to know all the history and politics and all that kind of stuff to be able to advise properly. Boring though. So because of that, you might need a break, and you probably do need a break at the minute as well. So just in this on the back here, that's your next stop off really.
Oh yeah, so, a chow drop off.
Exactly. Yeah. Let it drop. Again, drops off the castle like most of these things. So yeah.
I like the blackboard as well.
Yeah, I had to. I can't remember what's behind that. I think it might be the fireplace. I tried to. I spent quite a lot of time trying to get stuff to line up. It was a bit of a pain actually, but I'm sure that's what most of the medieval interiors are. If you got like a small space, you just have to kind of fudge things in. But yeah, it's not too bad.
Well, it's working. It's fitting all quite well.
All right, restoration and healing. So after all of that, you're going to need some healing. This one was, I was really struggling. I'm going to be honest. I was so struggling to do, what do you actually do to show restoration and healing? I was thinking, plants. We've got dead shrubs. So you can have a dead shrub and you can have it then turning into like a fern. And then eventually it'll get into like a little tree thing. So
like a botanist and alchemy.
Yeah, but it's to do with like, you're trying to heal up your tree using magic. And apparently most of them have failed, but yeah, simple little ideas. You can tell that I started off with the wand workshop I love, the potion stuff I love, but I started to drop off with my ideas. Divination, crystal ball stuff. I know, it's taken straight out of Harry Potter, totally, you know. But I was thinking, well, there could be, you know, I think that's called scribing when they look at a ball and see stuff in the future. But that was the idea of this one. It's another class. So far, you're doing pretty good on all these classes. You're learning a lot.
Learning a lot.
Yeah, you gotta be. A bit of a chill out area, which then leads on to the outside area that we've got as well. So that was that kind of link up, so you can just kind of like wander out and have some fresh air. This is just a quiet study area. That's not the library, because we're probably going to have quite a few mages in here. So let's we'll make our way to the next floor.
This looks so cool.
It's cool, isn't it? I like
overlooking everything.
Yeah, it's a different feel to Clipped Off. It's like I've tried to make it a little bit more, well, magic-y. It's kind of like been repurposed as such.
I think I've lost you.
Nope,
downstairs.
upstairs.
Upstairs.
Yeah, keep on going up. That's logs. Here. Yeah, there's only one tower. There's only one staircase going up, unfortunately, which makes it a little bit difficult to get out. So yeah, this floor, this has got the ice dormitory. So if we go in here, this is where everybody can be. So all of the kind of like levels of whatever they are, and then we've got just the bunk beds in this section. Lots of bunk beds, really kind of basic, with just like a little shelf each, and a couple little outside areas as well that you can kind of like walk around. And again, smoke breaks, as he said.
Is this one of these balconies that actually come away from the actual build itself?
Yep. So these are called hoardings. I know.
Hoardings,
so the
that's
idea would be that they would actually build these over the castle walls or extend outwards. And actually, when you see towers that go bigger at the top, that's actually the same idea, that you can then shoot downwards from it. So if somebody got right up to the wall, you can see there, you can just shoot down or drop down. You know, either way. That's the idea. So they're called hoardings, but in this case, probably they're using them to smoke. I'd expect something like that anyway.
That's cool.
In this case, this one's just a simple balcony, but as you can see, there's a chamber pot there that they would probably throw off the side.
A spittoon sort of thing. Well, they wouldn't have chewed the back of that. Was more like the west.
Yeah. Well, you never know. It's magic, isn't it?
True.
So here we have the spellcasting and battle gym. So trying to make a little hall above the main hall. This one, just that goes all the way to the roof. So the idea being here, we'd be casting spells at each other, jar with jar, and trying to deflect them and create shields and all that kind of stuff that you can imagine them doing. So I wanted to do kind of like use the carpets to make a swirling kind of pattern of power and magic and all that kind of jazz. So that's kind of what's going on with that. Isn't too bad.
That's cool.
Then if we go over here, we get to the fire dormitory, which is just around the back. So
I like the signs is that they're in color coordination as well.
I've got to do it.
Like spell casting and battle magic, like orange spells, ice, blue, fire.
I know.
Red.
Yeah, I love that we can color those now. This one, as you can probably tell, is a little bit more cramped. Quite a bit more cramped. It's just the size of it. It's only got one balcony as well, so unfortunately for them. But as long as they got a place to smoke and drop one off, it's fine.
Drop one off.
That's brilliant. So there we go. That's their nice little thing. But because they've got such a small kind of dorm, they've got a bigger area for their common room. So nice and chilled, nice big fire. Be quite warm. You'd be all complaining about all blues all the time. You'd be like, oh, those ice knobheads. Oh God, you'd be complaining about them all the time, I reckon. In here we actually have the kind of medical ward or medical wing as such. So a couple simple little medical areas. So if you did, somebody's thrown a spell at you too much and it's broken your arm or whatever and they can't heal you, you're going to be resting up in here. So between that little section. It had nothing to do with, obviously, me just running out of ideas.
You putting everything into this. I like it.
You got to just fill stuff with stuff. Right, next floor.
That's your quote for the
Fill
day.
stuff
Fill
with stuff.
with
Yeah.
stuff.
We might as well go all the way to the top because we're nearly done. The top one here, the idea being that when you're a master mage, you can go out into the main world, but sometimes you might want to come back to the guild. So that's where we've got all the purples. So these are all just spare beds for master mage wanting to come. They can just come and bunk up in the top tower. So that was my idea. I needed some place to put some of those beds. So that's kind of what you get. So if you come on down.
I like how you've done that as well. Like colour coordination,
Yeah.
like the fire, the ice.
And the purpley type stuff to be that kind of bit of both. Yeah.
Full blown.
Yeah, full-blown mage. So now we're in the teacher's quarters. So they've obviously got some pretty fancy quarters. This would also be for the master mages, which are like those ones that could be staying. So yeah, it's kind of got quite a big area for the common room. Quite cool as well. Tried using some coral with some weird ass rock thing, and I quite like it. You're reading the names.
Automato and Alvis
Yeah.
Firethorn.
Alvis Firethorn. Imagine him being like a big bearded weirdo, you know, big bearded weirdo even. So we'll go into that Archmage thing last, I think. So they've got their own kitchen because why not? You can tell that this the halls are going around that big kind of battle gym type thing that we've got going on. After I built it, I was like, how the hell am I going to join all this up? But it kind of works. So this is another common room, so they can just be chilling out, and relaxing.
Is it? Oh, down here, is it?
Yeah, this too. Yeah, so they've got their own another area to chill. I don't know if you recognise that book. I mean, actually, don't say if you recognise it or not. People in the comments have to say what that is and what it's from. So people will recognise it, and I'll tell them if they're right when they come on it, or if they're not right. Guessing you don't recognise it?
I think I do know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of competition because it means that we know that people have got that far in the video, and if they get it right as well, even better. Yeah.
I didn't think I'd put that in.
I know, it's a little headlock. I know. Perfect, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. So yeah, they got quite a few little areas to kind of like chill out, all of them with fires. The history and politics teacher is Sakura Medla. Maybe Medlan, I think, might be. Gigantic bed. I mean, this is a pretty good quarters. I think you'd be pretty happy with this kind of area. I know. That's how important history is, apparently, in politics. Oh, incredible.
Wow, a wooden laptop.
Wooden laptop.
That's
You
awesome.
love the wooden laptop. I know, it's great, isn't it? Yeah.
With the abacus.
Yeah. They got to have an abacus. They got to be counting stuff, been doing calculations and all that. Oh. But yeah, it's not too bad. Nice big wardrobe.
I like the roof.
Oh yeah.
How it tilts up.
I like it. Yeah, I was thinking about what to do with it. And I was like, actually, I'm just gonna have it on show and just have a couple lanterns just hanging down. I just really detail it up. So I put a lot of wood in.
No, this is awesome, man.
Yeah. So some of the teachers don't have the same kind of size thing. So we've got the potions master is Moth Gosling. Yeah, Moth. I know. Can imagine just a weird old bloke, really. His name is Moth.
Yeah.
I tried to color coordinate these as well. So with those signs, as a bit of fun. So this one's potions was green down the bottom. So I decided to go with a nice green bed. Try and get some green stuff in it, but also all of their rooms, as you'll probably notice, have got things like, obviously, Potions Master has got some potions. He also, for some reason, happens to have a balcony. I don't know how he got that, but I don't know. Maybe that's just what he's got. Who knows? That's how it all works.
I like the little bits of detail that you're putting in, as you said. Like you got the, stuff over here and little herb stations.
Yeah, I've tried to do that with all of them, as you'll see when we go through. So I've tried to link them back. It's one of the reasons I put the signs up, because I was trying to force myself to do it. Otherwise you just get generic kind of builds. So for divination, we've got Catherine Locks. And I was like, locks, unlock your potential, unlock your mind, etc. and so forth. I was trying to go with that. So
Gone
gone for yellow, yeah. And of course, this one they've just got a load of crystal balls. So there's not too much you can do without the player heads. You'd just not be able to do any of this at all. But yeah, nice little simple quarters. It's not too bad.
Mystic Meg's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Next floor. Got these staircases. We've got Thomas Knotts, 2 T's. So he's the woodworking bloke. I think this one's quite easy to tell that he's a woodworker.
Yeah.
With a saw in it and a bench and a armor stands, using that as a kind of like wood type thing. So he's got a bundle of sticks. So yeah, like little things like that. All right. Ooh. Cool. Next, keep on going up. We got to keep going up. Make it up. So I've got Nina Ravens as the battle mage. So the person that will teach you all your real battle-y magic, your cool spells. Nice big.
You made this room a bit bigger so she can actually move around. And...
Yeah, I thought, battle mage is probably quite a prominent position. So I don't know about you, but I would like if I had a court mage, I'd want them to be able to like really whip up some cool badass magic.
Well, you're not going to say no. To
no, exactly. Yeah.
You're not going to say, hey, you can have a small.
Yeah,
room.
no,
So,
it's not going to happen. Divination. Oh, you see the future, do you? In a bull. But no, battle mage, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's give them a bigger room. So they've got a nice big room, and lots of stuff. There wasn't really too much I could do with a battle mage. The only thing I could really think of was this skeleton dude. He just beat up, and tried to do a wand type thing, and maybe some artifacts as well. So there's that kind of thing to try and make it look.
It works.
It's kind of got it. Yeah, it's not too bad. And again, it was that kind of like orangey red as well for that color. So nice and simple. But that's those ones. So let's go all the way down now. It's such a tiny staircase. Like fit it in as much as I could. There we go. So if we now go back through all the way here, got 2 left. So we've got Autumn Myrtle, who's that restoration lady. Apparently the pillow is melted. Yeah, put that back. So again, that kind of green color. So I went with that. And yeah, there wasn't really too much I could do for restoration. Oh, it's melted again. Wasn't really too much I could do for restoration, so it's just like plant books. That'll do. Yeah, maybe a potion or 2. But it's got a pretty good room, actually, I would say. Not too bad.
Why? Nice little reading area here to
exactly,
books.
Yeah. Nice and chilled. Right, so Archmage Alvis Firefront. So he's actually got 2 floors. Because Archmage has got to have 2 floors. So he's got his own area for his private herb garden. He can his stash. Yep. So you'd have all manner of herbs around here that you can smoke or not smoke.
Got the mushrooms.
Got the mushrooms as well. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff.
And this wiggly thing.
Exactly. those little things.
Or did I just walk into a cloud of smoke somewhere as my eyes?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, it could have been. So yeah, nice simple. If we got into his main quarters, he's got a nice big ass bed, really big bed.
Wow.
So I tried to go with like a really big 4-poster bed, and lots of color and kind of can have that kind of like red going into the purpley type color. Try and mix it around a bit, so it's more purple and blues most of it, but yeah, nice big bed.
Well, I like this room. This is
your room, is it? You got your own private mead as well there, so you can just sit down on the sofa and just pour yourself a cold one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it. Oh, and he's also got a bird, as you probably noticed from the tweeting. So I thought, that'd be quite cool. If Dumbledore has a phoenix, well, we've only really got a parrot, so he'll have a parrot. Did think about him having a bunny or something like that, something a bit funny, but decided not to.
I like this room.
Good,
this is my favorite.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's my favorite as well. I like it. This is where I'd be totally. I did attempt to do a 45-degree wardrobe That's what this thing is. It's, you know, I think it looks a little bit funky. That one doesn't have it. Yeah, it kind of works, yeah. 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 So, you know, it kind of works. Oh, yeah, and the Ender Dragons. I forgot about the Ender Dragons I put on the sides of those. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I totally forgot about it. But, yeah, it's nice and simple. Well, I say it's nice and simple. It's quite elegant, quite big.
No, definitely my favourite
Yeah.
room. Nice and spacey.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Everything you need. It's got your bell. That'll do. It's got
like
your bell and your bird.
Bell
Yep.
and bird.
You got your stash downstairs. Nice and simple, really. Right, I'm just heading downstairs, and then we can head out. And the thing is, the birds just make so much noise. It's weird. So now, the good thing is, at least because we only got one staircase, you can just head all the way downstairs. You'll eventually come out at the bottom,
There you go.
and then you're all
It's like a water slide. Just
yeah.
dry. Splinters.
There we go. So from the outside, you can kind of see how it all joins up. I think one thing that you probably didn't notice is that it's actually at an angle. So the roof and stuff, especially, because what I decided to do with this is rather than kind of try and make everything line up, I wanted it to line up between the towers. So on the front part of it, actually on the front and sides. I don't know where are you? Oh yeah, over there. There you are. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, on each of these sides down here, I wanted the apex to meet perfectly between each of the towers, and so I did that on each of them really, as much as I could. Anyway, this second one's a little bit rubbish, but kind of worked. But especially the front and the back both has that where it kind of lines up perfectly in between those towers. But because of that, it actually turned out that it was one block off, and I didn't realise until I'd lined up the roof. I was like, oh, it's all angled. So yeah.
But judging from this at the top here, actually looks really
Yeah, it looks
good.
cool, doesn't it? It's got that kind of like twist to it. It's just slightly off. And because of that, I think it makes it look more interesting. So you don't really notice until you actually, like, it gets pointed out, I find anyway. But yeah, it's not too bad. I think it's quite good.
No, this is really cool, dude.
It's cool, isn't it? I like it. I've actually enjoyed, out of most of the castles, well, I've only done 2 castles on this place so far, but I think I like this one more. It's difficult to say because it's a different type and it's got a very different feel to it to the one that we reviewed earlier. And for you guys that haven't seen that already, I will link it in the description and also in the intro card as well, probably, so that you guys can have a check out of that. But yeah, it's nice. I think it's cool. But that is it for the tour, man. Thank you very much for joining me.
It's awesome. Oh, thank you for having me, man. Thank you. Have you got plans for something like this again?
Oh yeah,
or?
so the next one that we'll probably do tour-wise will be the Dwarven town of Dormitories. So once I get the interior of the castle done for that, we'll do an entire tour of a Dwarven town, which is actually up in the hills. So the path that goes up on here works its way up through the hills onto that nice rope bridge, which took me far too long to do. And then that leads to the next build that we'll be doing. That will be showing off as soon as it's done.
We'll definitely keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely.
Then, definitely.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to both me and Z. And I'll leave a link in the description as well as on the end screen to Z's channel. But yeah.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Thank you for having us. And
Yeah.
we'll see you on the next one.